Hey guys, welcome back to round 3. We are here to finish up our third siege wave for the Mountains of Godai. This is the core game. It's our 5th volume in the series, and it is our tower defense. As you can imagine, we have been through a roller coaster of emotions in the first 2 videos. In the first and second videos, we saw an earth and water siege nearly wipe us off of the face of the world. We managed to pull ourselves back from the brink of destruction, and now we are back in our third harvest stage. I'm excited to kind of show you guys this next round. I've been itching to play again. It's been a couple of days since I've done the video for the second playthrough, and I wanted to get right back into the action. Now, we do have one thing to kind of clean up. In my last playthrough, at the end of that game, I was so excited that we managed to pull Manchupakra, our home city-state, back from the brink of destruction, that I forgot to actually decrease some of the resilience on our other defenders. So, that said, we have also decreased our tower by 4. This is from the final moments tracker. At the end of a siege, all of our defenders are going to suffer some damage. So our tower has been destroyed once again. Now, we haven't really put much into maintaining this tower, so that's more of a strategy decision than the fact that it's been destroyed twice. So no problem there. Now, we also have a temple that has been destroyed. This temple right here, temple number 4, has been destroyed because it too suffered the 4 siege damage from the short count calendar's final moments tracker. Also, we have city-state number 1 all the way over here, and that has also suffered the 4 siege damage. So I've already taken those numbers and reduced them accordingly. So now we have the beginning of our harvest stage. I'm going to talk just for 5 minutes about some strategy here that I've been kind of looking at. Now, I have not actually used any of our equip effects that we've gained. We've gained 1 equip card, and we haven't actually equipped it to a defender yet. Had I known that we would have been so close in our previous playthrough to being destroyed, I think I probably would have equipped it, but I wasn't quite sure. So we're going to really double down on those equipped cards in this playthrough. I'm actually going to be going for some more of those commissions. I might take on a couple of the bosses. We have built up Manchupakra's strength to it's at an 11 currently, and so I want to make better use of that. And in order to do that, we need to get a bigger range on this city-state, because if Jaethi or any of the siege opponents pop up onto the map over here, they may actually target our first city-state and be out of range of our second city-state. And I'd really like to use all of Manchupakra's potential and power that we've built into that particular location. So how do we increase our defender's range? If we look at our resources placard, there are 2 ways to increase range using our resources. There are some game effects that can increase range, like an equip card or a certain bonus that you might gain from another card. But the primary ways of increasing range is through essence, and essence is generally found in great trees, on sky tiles, and in certain other ways. Potentially through boss rewards, we can look at a couple of ways of getting them as well. So I think I'm excited to get started here. I know I'm a bit long-winded when I tackle these videos, so I do apologize for that, but I sincerely thank you for hanging with me while I look at this game with you. And thanks for making it a possibility and for making it real. because the team and I, we spend so much time on these games. We literally pour our souls, a piece of our soul into each game that we create. And we wouldn't be here without you guys. So thanks again for making this a reality. All right, so the first thing we do during the harvest stage is draw the harvest cards. Now, our acquire amount is 4. We gained an item in the last, I believe it was in the last playthrough video, in Siege Wave 2, we gained an item that increased this value by 1. So we get to draw 4 harvest cards, and that is going to be the cards that are active during this particular harvest stage. One other note is that we had an earth and a water siege, so that means the possibilities for our siege in this game are fire, air, or void. Okay, so either of those 3 are going to be the siege that we see at the end of this playthrough. And my goal will obviously be to destroy Jaethi. Now, a couple other quick mentions, and then I'm going to get to those harvest card draws. And that is one thing, I had done the calculation for Jaethi's resilience incorrectly. She had a bulwark keyword because of her imbalance. Her earth imbalance is 6, so she has 6 bulwark, which prevents damage that is done to her. So I went back through and did the math and figured out, okay, how much should she actually have? If you'll remember, we have 3 specialists in Manchu Pakra, so specialists will reduce the effectiveness of that keyword by the number of specialists in this location. So instead of a 6 bulwark, she had a 3 bulwark. Her resilience then is 74. So that's her resilience. That's our target number. That's the number we have to bring her down to win this game. And of course, we can also win the game by surviving this last siege. So that is also something that we can do. And that's more of a stalemate. It's less of a win, but it's still a win. We managed to survive the ongoing cataclysm. All right, let's do it. 4 harvest cards. I see a treasure. Oh my gosh, 2 treasures. Tipping the balance and call to the gods. All right, let me put these in a slightly better way. Okay, so we have Lost Pinancho. Almost 20 seasons ago, the Pinancho of the Great Leader was stolen by one of his shamans. It was rumored that the emerald headpiece had special properties that allowed him to make great negotiations and diplomatic alliances. Its absence has been terribly felt by the city-state. Anytime the group gains a specialist, gain 1 more. Oh, this is going to be good. It's actually, okay, we definitely need to get this Lost Pinancho. Prestigious contract. You have proven yourself to the commission's handler. They can now be persuaded to reward you with whatever task you desire. Anytime the group gains a recruit, gain 1 more. Okay, up to once per game turn, the wielder gains the following abilities. You may consume 2 recruits to grant any defender plus 1 resilience. Oh, that could be helpful at the end of the game. You may spend 5 gold to search the commission deck for any card, and you can shuffle the deck and put the chosen card on top. Okay. All right. Now, we don't automatically get these treasures. We have to acquire them, and we acquire them by securing them in one of the antiquity sites. So we can go here, we can go over there, over here, or over there, or right here. And if we end movement there, then we get to secure those and take them for the group. Okay, let's look at the non-treasure cards. Tipping the balance. We possess more power than we think. So this one has an immediate effect. So roll a basic element of your choice and reduce the resulting imbalance by 2. We're going to roll Earth. That's what we're going to roll. Going to roll Earth. And that is an air result. So we have rolled a die and we have a mismatch here. But check it out. We actually have an item that helps us with this. We have Vine of the Dead. So we can use this ayahuasca here, and until the end of the game turn, you may roll explore after rolling an element die. If it succeeds, you may change the result to a different element of your choice. So yes, we are going to use the Mycotomancer's Vine of the Dead. He has one remaining, and he gets to roll explore, and if this is a success, his rank is a 7. So if it's 7 or lower, and it's a 3. So we can change this to whatever value we would like, and so we will change it to Earth and reduce the Earth imbalance by 2. Nice. All right. So that means the Earth imbalance is 4, and the water imbalance is 4. That is going to help us tremendously. All right, let's look at the until the end of stage effect for this card. Anytime you reduce imbalance, including the immediate effect this card provides, each hero gains a power-up. Whoa, so I was planning on actually reducing imbalance anyway because we need to get rid of her bulwark, and she's also healing because of her water imbalance. So I was planning on going to a temple anyway to reduce imbalance. So this is going to help us even more so. Let's draw 2 power-ups. Okay, so we have +3 lowest rank and a +1 health. All right. Health will go to the Mycotomancer. Lowest rank will go to the Wind Rider. And check it out. This is also a resource card. Okay. Then we have Call to the Gods. You may switch the location of up to 4 revealed boss tokens. I think I'll leave them where they are. The location doesn't bother me. I don't need to... In this game, because we have the Wind Rider and we have added movement bonuses, and the Tanuki can use an item to allow him to the group to teleport, we're not really struggling for movement, so I'm not going to worry about it. In other group configurations, this would probably come in handy. Each time you enter a boss lair, before you face a boss in combat, roll a mastery of your choice. Heroes who succeed raise 3 health or 3 energy. Heroes who critically succeed raise both. That'll be very helpful if we face a boss. Okay, so those are the harvest cards. They will remain in play until the end of this stage. It does not help us too much with resources. However, if we do get this Lost Panancho and this prestigious contract, that will definitely help us get those specialists and recruits. So we'll move right into the movement phase. So I am seeing quite a few locations that I want to get to, and I think the first thing that I want to do is try and get some of these commission cards taken care of. So we are gonna move, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're moving cautiously. So we will go ahead and roll our skills here. I should check out how much food we have too. None and 7. So we have some food, but we don't have a ton. And I do see a crit fail there for survival. So our Mycotomancer is going to eat some food. We failed on navigate, although we're moving cautiously. We made it. Get some gold. We get some gold here. We actually make survival and navigate. So we get a little bit of gold and we stay where we're at. Okay, then we are going to play the event phase. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to gain resources. Our range is 4, and our acquire amount is 4. I see 2 great trees in range. There's one right here, and there's one right here. And there's one right here. So we can actually go for 3 great trees, and then let's go for ore for our 4th one. So for the 4th one, we just get the ore, and if we look at our resources card here, that is a highland location, will give us 1 ore. Okay, and then we're going to roll 3 dice, and we need a 4 or lower. We moved cautiously, so that actually is going to give us a -1 to the roll. We also have a special item that gives us a -1 to the roll. So we have a -2 to the roll. And so for the great tree, we have to roll a 4 or lower. We have a 7, -2 is 5, 7 -2 is 5, and 6 -2 is 4. So we get 1 essence. I think I'm also going to use our Jade Amamori. We each have one, and that will allow us to reduce these 2 dice to become a success. So we've effectively gotten 3 essence from this turn. Okay. Then I'm going to spend, actually spend 3 living crystals. Okay, and you're going to see how this works in a moment here. So we're going to spend, let's spend 2 living crystals. We're going to keep 1. Okay, so we spend 2 living crystals, and we're going to spend 1 essence and 1 sky metal. And if we read the consume effect for a living crystal, consume with a tier 2 resource or element. You may select each resource type up to once. Fill in the corresponding box at right. At the end of each harvest stage, for each box filled, gain a number of matching resources equal to 3 plus the current siege stage. So we've effectively created a factory to create these 2 resources, and that will help us at the end of this particular harvest stage. Okay, so then we are going to continue our event phase, and we have 2 different events that may happen. Let's look at this one. Strategy of the Shogun. Weapons of war are often buried during prolonged times of peace. The Shogun of Hatarugawa remembers where powerful artifacts were once entombed. His efforts to reclaim them have awakened a fierce pride in the people he leads. It is time his samurai regain these weapons. Perhaps we can help them. If we manage to complete this particular commission, it has an equip effect. This defender deals 1 additional siege damage for each specialist there. Now, if we can get our hands on a bunch of specialists, then it's going to deal additional damage. And our city-state already has 3 specialists in it. So that is an automatic 3 additional damage that our city-state will gain. Okay? So we're going to roll Explore and Survival. And we need 1 success for each. So the Wind Rider is first with an Explore rank of 6 and a Survival rank of 7. 2 successes right off the bat. And the Mycotomancer, rank 7 Explore and 8 Survival. And that is a Hex. Amazing. Okay, so if you guys remember, if you gain a critical success while you complete a commission, you're getting double the reward. And check that out. The commission reward is a tier 2, 1 of each. So that's 2 of each. We gain 2 essence, 2 sky metal, and 2 specialists. Already, this is a wonderful start to our harvest. Now, we have just obtained the weapons that the samurai have been talking about and have had hidden. This is another equip card that we can use to place on our defenders. I'm not going to place it on our defenders just yet. We're going to do that in a little bit. Okay, so then we're going to flip over the next card in the stack. And I see a samurai heroic. We do not have the samurai in play, so I'm going to discard that one. And flip over the next one. Okay, ancient tablets. Now that one's in an antiquity site. And we just so happen to need to go to an antiquity site. So I think that is the next thing we're going to do. Now, our Tanuki has energy and can spend energy to create an item. And in this case, we're going to create an item that teleports us. If we look at the Emporium, which is where our items are, we can see Dimension Door allows us to teleport to an antiquity site or to any location within group range of any defender. So that's what we're going to do. Tanuki's going to spend some energy. And we're going to teleport. Let's teleport over here. We're going to go over here. And that's going to allow us to place a couple of map tiles on the board. Okay, and because we have the Wind Rider in play, we're placing 1 additional map tile. Okay, so it's still the event phase, and we can attempt to do this one. Let's take a look. Ancient tablets. An ancient and invaluable set of clay tablets has been unearthed. They feature a language that is far older than anything we've seen before. The precious tablets must be moved to a safe haven where they may be studied and preserved. Travel to each city-state after you initiate this commission to complete it. If only one exists, travel only there instead. Gain this card's platinum reward twice if you travel to each city-state. Oh my gosh, and check out the equip effect. Siege opponents vanquished by this defender award double their reward, you guys. So, what we're going to do, this is going to change strategy a little bit, but we're now going to go to both of those 2 city-states, and we can use our teleport ability to do so as well. It will cost us a little bit of gold, but we can make that happen. Okay. Now, one other thing, we are in an antiquity site, so we've just picked up this aid quest. We're going to place a hex token on the location, and we are going to gain one of these 2 treasures, and I think we're going to take the Lost Pinancho. Yes, now we have a headdress that our Saurian is going to wear. Okay. So, this treasure is a +1 attack, +1 defend. That will help us when we do some combat later on in this video. Place that right here. Okay, and now anytime we gain a specialist, we're going to gain 1 more. Okay. All right, I'm happy with how that went. This is going to be the end of the event phase. Let's see what Jaethi has in store for us. Crumbling Defense. Remove 1 equip card of your choice from a defender of your choice. The removed card cannot be from the villain deck. Place the card back in its deck and then shuffle it. If you have none, each city-state loses 3. Oh no! So I was hoping to have to not use our ethereal ore, but it looks like we're going to need to. We only have 2 resilience left on this city-state. So if I don't consume our last ethereal ore to give us a +3, our city-state, our beloved city-state of Manchu-Pakra, will now be destroyed. We are going to leave it at 2 because this card is going to reduce by 3 and our ethereal ore is going to increase by 3 for a net 0 gain. All right, so we have 0 ethereal ore left, you guys. We're going to need to get some more because that's definitely something that we will need later on. Now, this is a fire card, so we are going to roll the fire die to place a siege opponent card. And that is a water, so we're going to place a water siege opponent on slot number 3. Okay. And then it's our turn. I think what we're going to do now is, well, let's flip over that other card over here. See what we got. Okay. That one is also a settlement. Okay. We're going to use the Tanuki's item creation ability to create the scroll of teleportation, and we're going to teleport over here to City State 1. Okay, so that's our movement phase. Skills. Oh, we missed survival completely. So we are eating the last of our 5 food. We have no food remaining, you guys. I do see a hex here, though, and that is going to provide us with a tier 1 resource of our choice. So we will go with ore. Okay. Then we gain some gold. And I see a couple of successes for green, so we don't move. Okay, so now it's our event phase. We're going to spend some of our gold. Okay, so we each bought a dimension door and a Puritan mount. So now we have the Puritan mount and the Griffin mount. Now the Puritan mount, let's take a look at this. If each hero has sword from this item, also increase the group's movement speed by 1 hex per turn. Okay, so now we get to increase our movement speed by 1. We now have a movement speed of 5. Okay. And that will come in handy later. I'll show you why I'm being mysterious at this time, because I think we're going to be able to use it, but I'm not exactly sure. Okay, now we have done our event phase. We have completed gain this card's platinum reward twice if you travel to each city-state. So we've traveled to the first city-state to complete the Ancient Tablets commission requirement. We just purchased a dimension door, so we are going to use the dimension door again to move us over here. It cost us some gold to do that, and I'm using the Wind Rider's dimension door item now. And now we have completed this Ancient Tablets aid commission card. We get 8 platinum, you guys. Now we can spend some platinum on upgrading our defenders. So spend 1 platinum right away to increase our city-state of Manchu-Pakra. And this goes up to 10 resilience. Okay. And we now have our Ancient Tablets card. And this equip effect is amazing. So let's keep that in our Belt of Tricks. Okay, I'm not going to apply anything yet, although do we want to use a third dimension door? We purchased one from the Mycotomancer as well as the Wind Rider. I think we're going to use the dimension door again, and we're going to end up yeah, because we want to change our location so that when we harvest resources, we're in a spot where we want to harvest from. So I think we are going to let's go here. We're gonna go right here. So we're using our third dimension door. We have none left. And we have teleported to this antiquity site. I'm not going to be able to do one of the commissions, but it gets us in range of the sky tiles so that we can harvest from that location. So we're going to roll our harvest dice. In this case, I'm going to be harvesting from the entire, we'll be harvesting all 4 of our rolls will come from the sky tiles. You only will get anything on a hex on these rolls here. And we get nothing. Now, we have a -1 to the roll. So this 4 becomes a 3. And these 6s become a 5. We have not used our Jaethi Momori yet. So we're going to use the Jaethi Momori for each of our heroes to reduce these to a hex. And that will trigger the resource gain. So if we look at the sky tile, we can choose 2. Let's choose 2 essence for each. So we're going to choose 2 essence. So that will give us 4 essence. Perfect. Okay, that is the end of our event phase. It has been a good one. Next up, we are going to flip over Jaethi's card. And what do we have? We have urban control. Look at that. An eeriness is settling in the streets. Local militias now control who can enter our places of safety. Mistrust and suspicion lingers in the minds of the inhabitants. If the group is in a city-state or a settlement, we were in each earlier. Wander until you are out of the location. These locations are uncrossable until the next siege begins. We can't go back to the city-states, you guys, until the siege begins. You may choose to gain no resources during the event phase of a turn in order to negate this effect. We can't go back to our city-states. It's pure chaos. The streets are overrun with people who are just trying to survive, and we're like, hey, everybody, it's gonna be okay. It's definitely not gonna be okay if we can't get back to our city-states. Okay, so this is a blue card. This is a water die, so we are going to roll the water die to place a siege opponent. And that is a water result. It is not a surge. We're going to place a water card on the 3rd siege slot. So now there are 3 siege cards in play. There's the 1 void card. That was disaster, if you remember, from last playthrough video. And then we have 2 new water opponents that will arrive during this upcoming siege. Okay, our turn again. I think we should try and get some specialists. I think we're going to try and do that. So in order for us to do that, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're moving normally now. And we have no food, you guys. We've got no food left. Thankfully, we make survival here, and we make survival here, so we're not starving, so that's a good thing. But we do get a little gold, but not much. We're not going to be able to pull off this teleport trick again because we don't have enough gold to do it, and we can't even get back to those city-states to buy that item. Okay, we do manage to stay where we are because of our navigate success here. Otherwise, we would have wandered away from that spot. Okay, so then we are going to do our event phase. There is nothing that will happen here, so we are going to just gain our resources. We're going to go with the 2 settlements, and we're going to go with 2 more. We're going to go for the 2 settlements, at 1 antiquity site, and then 1 sky tile. So for the settlements, we automatically gain 4 recruits, and then we are going to roll a harvest die for each, and we need a 4 or less. We make both. We do not make either of those rolls. An 8 and a 7 are both failures. I think let's go ahead and use our Jaethi memories for each of our characters here to reduce those to make those a success. That is going to mean we gain 2 specialists, and our lost Penancho will change that into 4 specialists gained. So we have 7 specialists now. Perfect. Okay. Then we will roll for the antiquity site. Now we can't use those Jaethi memories again, so we have to take the result of this roll. The antiquity site has a harvest of 4, and it will gain 5 platinum if we make this roll. And it's a 2. We make it. Yes. All right. So that means we gain 5 platinum. We now have 12 platinum. We definitely needed that. Okay, so then our last roll will be we will need a hex on this roll, and this will be the sky tile. Too bad we should have done that for this last roll. We would have made it. And that's a 4 converted to a 3 because of our bonus. And that is the end of our harvest stage. Then we have Jaethi. And we have a Cataclysm. All right. Okay, this is awesome. Our first Cataclysm has occurred. Unstoppable earthquakes are fracturing the land, harming the Empire's structures, and opening gigantic rifts. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is grab the Cataclysm token here. There it is. And the matching Cataclysm card. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to roll to place this tile as if it were a sky tile. So we're going to roll a d10 and a d6. Okay, so this is number 10, and we're wandering in the direction of 2, which is that way. Okay, so a couple of things occur here. We have to re-roll the wander direction because we cannot actually place it in the location rolled. It is actually on top of a sky tile here. So we're going to re-roll, and that is a 3. Can't go there. So a 1. It can go right here. Okay, so we have the earthquake has occurred. I see a elemental rift on this particular location. We're going to place an elemental token on top of it. And now the Cataclysm is a type of terrain that is very unstable. And so what we will do is we are going to consult the card here, this Cataclysm card, when the players are on this location. So it's hazardous terrain. And check out this event phase. Something will happen if we're on any hex of this location during the event phase. And if we flip this over to the opposite side, you can see how the defenders, siege opponents, and Jaethi are affected by this particular card if they are on this location. You also see something called crystallized pattern. Now, what does this do? Up to once per turn, the group may consume a crystal while on the Cataclysm to gain the following effects. All water siege opponents immediately suffer some damage. We reduce the earth imbalance by 3. All afflictions, conditions, and levels of starving are negated for the heroes, and a defender of our choice gains an earth augment. So we can go here and spend a tier 3 resource and get all of those bonuses. That is pretty awesome. And it will reduce earth imbalance by 3. So that's kind of a no-brainer. I think we have to do that before the harvest stage ends to gain the synergy of the tipping the balance card. That is going to be super cool. All right, so put that right here. Okay. Finally, this is an earth card, so we're going to roll the earth die, and that is a earth match. So we're going to place a earth opponent right here. Okay. Our game turns are flying by. Okay, before I start the next movement phase, I need to do a little bit of cleanup here. So I recognize that when we drew one of our cards here, I did not apply the resilience reduction to our second city-state. So I'm going to do that. It was a -3. So Takagura is going to be depleted from 12 down to 9 resilience. Then we have a new boss location that was revealed all the way in the corner there. So I am going to place a new boss token on that location. And what do we have? Boss number 1. Okay. Okay. With that step done, I think we're ready to go into our next movement phase. Now, I'm not sure how much time we're going to have left in this harvest stage before the next siege card is shown. I don't know. It could be the next card. It could be the card after if we're lucky. So we may want to consider this our last harvest round before the next siege begins. And I still have a bunch of things I want to do. Not enough time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the Tanuki's item creation ability one more time. This is coming in handy the entire game. And that will allow us to teleport to an antiquity site or a location within 5 hexes of any defender. Now, I really want to get over to this boss right over here, and you'll see why in a little bit. For now, because there's no defender in that area, I'm going to have us teleport right over to here. Okay, so that's going to be our movement phase. Let's go ahead and roll our skills. And remember, we still have no food left, so that's going to be a problem if we don't make our survival roll here. And of course, look at that. It's already a crit fail. Okay, so a couple things. That's going to be our Mycotomancer here. We at least stay where we are with a success on Navigate, and he does get a little gold. And we have a success over here for our Wind Rider. We have actually, we make everything over here, so Wind Rider gets everything. Our Mycotomancer is now starving. That is going to be terrible for us because he will not be able to use energy. Okay. Do we want to use the Jade Amamori? I think I'm going to not use it for this purpose. I think we're right next to water, so we can very easily harvest from a water location to get some food. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to. Let's save that roll for our resources. Speaking of, we are currently in the event phase. We are in an antiquity site, and I do not have a commission card that is on an antiquity site location, so that means we will simply be harvesting. So we will go ahead and let's harvest from the settlement first. That'll be our first roll here, and that is going to give us 2 recruits. And it will allow us to, oh, hey, actually, hang on. Before we do this, we are also going to gain the prestigious contract. So this is the second treasure card, and this is actually in a antiquity site location. So we will get that as well. Nice. Okay, so our prestigious contract, we're going to put this on our Wind Rider to give him a +1 to explore. Okay, and now because we have the prestigious contract, anytime we gain recruits, we gain 1 more. So our recruits go up to 12 because we have just harvested from the settlement. Now we're going to roll the die here and see if we can get some specialists. And this is going to be a roll of 4 or less. And it is a roll of a 5. We have a -1 to our roll because of the charm of the creator that we purchased early in the game. It was a very expensive item, but we were able to get it, and that will allow us to gain 1 specialist +1 because of our treasure card here. We're up to 9 specialists. Okay, we have 3 more locations that we can harvest from. I see a great tree, so we're going to roll a die for that. That is also a 4 or lower on the die, and that is a 9. Okay, so I'm going to use the Wind Rider's Jade Emamori, which means we get 1 essence. Okay, we have 2 places to harvest from left. Let's go ahead and harvest from the water to get some food. And we're going to eat that right away over here to get rid of our starving condition on the Mycotomancer. Okay. We have 1 more harvest location left, and I see a mountain peak right here at the top. So we are going to harvest from the mountain. And this is also a 4 or less on the harvest die. And it is a 5 minus the 1 is 4. We get a sky medal. Okay. All right, so that is going to be our event phase. However, our Wind Rider may use Ascend. His Ascend mastery can be used up to once per turn outside of combat during any phase to grant the group soar and move them up to 1/3 Ascend rank hexes. So we can move 2 hexes. We're going to move, you guessed it, right here. Okay, so we're going to move to this boss location. Now, a few things trigger. The first thing is we have Call to the Gods, and it has a until the end of stage effect. Each time you enter a boss location before you face a boss in combat, roll a mastery of your choice. Heroes who succeed raise 3 health or 3 energy. We were going to each roll a mastery. The Wind Rider will roll Whirlwind, which is rank 11. And that is a hex. That is a critical success. Okay, the Mycotomancer will roll Alchemize, and his rank is 12. And that is also a success, but not a crit. Now, what this says here is heroes who succeed raise 3 health or 3 energy. Heroes who critically succeed raise both. So our Wind Rider is going to regain the energy he just used to use his Ascend ability. And the Tanuki is going to get his energy, a little bit of his energy back at least. And we'll leave his health alone because he did not crit succeed. Okay, then we are going to, we're in a boss lair. This is Atlakutli, a titanic crocodile. We are actually going to dedicate ourselves to this giant crocodile by, if we take a look at our temple placard here, we are going to do this by consuming either 3 recruits or 1 specialist, and I think we're going to do the specialist. Okay, so we'll reduce 1 specialist, and this means we have at Lakutli's dedication effect up to once each turn. While in Atlakutli's lair, the group may lose 1 griffin or Puritan mount, or may spend 20 food to gain 2 essence. So we're gonna do that. This is why I purchased those Puritan mounts previously. It was for a nefarious purpose, but we've got to do what we've got to do, right? So my Catomancer is going to sacrifice his Puritan, and that means we get 2 essence. Okay, now that is going to leave us at the end of the event phase. And man, if we had the ability to teleport 1 more time, we would definitely take it. We can't carry more than 1 of those items for each of our heroes. And we didn't have any left because we haven't been able to go into a city state. It's off limits because of that previous Jaethi card that was drawn. Now that means we're going to go into Jaethi's villain phase, and I don't know what we're going to get here, you guys. Let's see if this is going to give us 1 more turn or if this is going to be our siege card. We are going to draw a card. We have 1 round left. We might have more, but we have at least 1 round left. Check this out, you guys. This is the ruins of Tubekli Gepe. You may recognize that the name of this card might actually have something to do with the ruins in Turkey of Göbekli Tepe. So this is a discovery card. Let's see how this card works. We are going to roll to place this discovery token using the siege portals. Place it unsecured side up on any hex adjacent to the nearest, that would be antiquity site to the result. So we're going to roll for a location. We have number 9. Okay. And it's going to be, the location is going to be here. Place it unsecured side up on any hex adjacent to the antiquity site nearest the result. So this antiquity site is actually closer. I guess either one of these 2 sites are close to this result. So let's go odds and evens. Odds it is. So it's going to be placed adjacent to that location. Let me find the little token for it here. Okay, now this is a discovery token, and just like our treasure cards, this location will not enter play unless we secure it before Jaethi arrives. So if we don't get this card this turn, Jaethi may consume it from us. Now, let's see what this card does. An abundance of resources was unearthed in this nearby site. A deep cavity in the ground overflows with goods as if your ancestors knew you would have need of them someday. When secured, the ruins of Tobekli Gepe gains during the harvest stage. Harvest of 4 and choose one of the following resources. So we can gain 5 lumber, 5 ore, 2 essence, 2 sky metal, 1 ethereal ore, or 1 living crystal. We don't get all of those. We get to choose one that we gain. And the harvest is 4. So that is actually going to be a pretty good location for us to gain. Now, the end of this card is a, let's see, it is a earth card. So we're going to roll the earth die to place a siege opponent. And that is a fire siege opponent. We've been lucky. We have not gotten any surges on this, in this siege wave. So that is, that's definitely a good thing. We'll take it. Okay, this might be our last game turn before the siege begins. I don't know if we can press our luck any further, so I have to treat this as if this is our last resort. We are all the way over here off in the wilderness, and we have got to come up with something that will help us here. All right, I think what we're going to do this turn, we have already sacrificed one of our specialists and our Puritan mount to this hungry, I almost said hippo, this Atlukutli, the crocodile, and I don't think we're going to sacrifice any more. If we did, we'd have to stay here, and we've got to move on. I wanted to do both, which is why I bought 2, because that would give us another 2 essence. But I don't think we're going to have time to do that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to move 4. We no longer have the speed bonus from having both of the Puritans. So we're moving 4, and we're going to move normally. Thankfully, we have a little bit of food now, so we're not going to... oh, I see a hex. We're not going to have to starve if we fail. Luckily, we make it. We miss navigate over here. So that means we are going to wander. I wonder where we wander to. Let's add our +1 resource from this hex. First of all, that's going to give us 1 more ore. Okay, and I have 1 explore success over here, so we get a little bit of gold, and now we're going to wander. This might change my plans depending on where we wander. We wander in, oh no! Okay, we wander right over here. Okay, so that is going to put us off course, which means I'm going to have to spend my Wind Rider's Ascend ability earlier than I had hoped to use it. I wanted to use it to do something else, but that's okay. We're going to use it now. So he's going to suffer 2 energy, and we're going to be moved right here. Now, if we look at the Cataclysm card, we see that if we're here during the movement phase, this is actually hazardous terrain. So let's take a look to see what hazardous terrain is. The group does not gain the benefits of camping or moving cautiously here, and suffers 1 elemental health damage, matching the associated element at the end of the movement phase. Okay, so we suffer 1 element, 1 earth damage. Okay, and earth, if we look at our element compass here, air overcomes earth, earth overcomes water. So earth overcomes water, that means our Saurian is weak against earth, and he's going to suffer a d6 + 1 damage. We rolled a 5, that is going to be 6 damage. Just from being here. So the Tanuki will also be suffering damage, but he's not weak against Earth, so he only suffers 1 damage from being here. Okay? Then, while on any hex of this Cataclysm tile, roll the d6 and consult the table below. So now we have to roll a d6 here, and that is a hex. Each hero may replace one of their augmented elements with Earth, keeping the tier of the replaced element. Then the group chooses one option above. Ooh. Well, let's reduce Earth imbalance by 1, shall we? Because that will allow us to gain the power-up bonus from tipping the balance. All right, so perfect. The Earth imbalance is going to be reduced to 3. We each get a power-up. Okay. All right, so I see, we have a resource card here. So this is +2 to the lowest rank. Let's give that to, our lowest rank is 7. We have a bunch of choices on our Wind Rider here. We're gonna give that to our Wind Rider. And that is gonna be a +2 essence. That is awesome. We definitely need it. Okay, then we have a first mastery. So that's going to go to our Mycotomancer. Definitely a good choice there. That's his healing ability. His rank is now 14. Amazing. And we get to roll the air die to gain an element. So we are going to roll that. And that is water. That's a mismatch. So not gain the air element. Okay, we'll get rid of those power-up cards. And then it's our event phase. Now, we are currently on the Cataclysm tile. So if we turn over our card here, we see that we have one additional thing we can do. That is crystallized pattern. We're definitely going to make use of this. It allows us to consume a living crystal in order to gain all of the benefits underneath it. So check it out. We don't have any siege opponents in play at this time, so we don't actually get the first bullet because it's not an active siege. But if it were an active siege, we could do a little bit of damage to water opponents. Okay, so then the next thing is reduce the Earth imbalance by 3. That is amazing because this is going to allow us to reduce that Earth imbalance completely. Earth imbalance is now down to 0. And because we have reduced imbalance, that gives us another power-up card, you guys. So tipping the balance has just gone off one more time. And that is amazing. One more power-up for each of us. Okay, we have energy and revive. That's awesome. We actually have a revive power-up on our Saurian. So why don't we give that to our Mycotomancer? And that will mean that if our Mycotomancer dies, he can also be revived. Okay, so that is awesome. Tuck that right over here. Okay, then we have our Wind Rider, and they have received the Shared Patterns card, and this is going to allow us to draw another power-up and give it to the entire group. And I see some recruits there. So this is a resource card. It's a +1 to pick 2 of your choice. I think we will go with... Let's raise his health a little bit. Okay, and then we gain 3 recruits. Now, because we have the sacrificial scepter here, nope, sorry, which one is it? Oh, the prestigious contract. That's right. The prestigious contract. This allows us to, whenever we gain a recruit, to gain one more. So now we've just gained 4 recruits. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay. All right, so then we have a couple more things that happen. We're still in the event phase here. So let's finish reading the rest of this crystallized pattern card. And let's put away these power-ups. Oh, that power-up bonus was applied to both of our heroes. So our Mycotomancer, he's gonna let's gain some health over there too. Okay, wonderful. Okay, looking at crystallized pattern, the last 2 bullets on this part of the card here. All afflictions, conditions, and levels of starving are negated for the heroes. We were starving previously in the game turn, or at least the previous game turn, I think it was. So we don't have to worry about any of that, but that is a good boon for coming to this location. Okay, then we have a defender of your choice gains an earth augment. I think that is going to be applied to our city-state of Manchu Pakra. Okay. Perfect. Okay, last but not least, actually there's a few more things to do. We are in range of this token here. So we are going to take the earth token and gain an earth element. Okay. So we now have 5 earth elements. Okay. Next, we are in range of this location, the ruins of Tobekli Gepe. This is one of the reasons why I wanted our heroes to use the Wind Rider's soar ability to get us closer to that location. As long as we're in range of it, we can secure it. We are, so we get to flip this token over, and now this becomes an actual location that we can harvest from as we have secured it. Okay, so before our event phase ends, we're going to do our harvesting, and we can spend any of our resources as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is we get 4 locations to harvest from. That's our acquire amount. So I think we are going to harvest from the ruins of Tobekli Gepe. Let's do that first. We're going to roll a harvest die. We get a -1 bonus to this roll. And that is a 4, -1 is a 3. This is a success. We now get to choose one of the following to gain. Now, do we want to... I think we're going to gain the ethereal ore. That came really in handy last siege, so we will take that one. Okay, then I think the rest of our actions will be to harvest from the sky tile. Now these dice we will require a hex on in order to gain anything from them. -1 to the roll, and we have our Jade Memories, which will help us also reduce the number. Okay, well, this is a good sign. So we have a 2. The 2 is reduced by 1 to a hex, and so that is 1 success currently. Let's look at those Jade Memories. Up to once per game turn for 2 energy, you may modify the numeric value of the hex or core die you just rolled by up to half your highest mastery rank. We have a 7 here and a 5 here. So the 7 could go down, bring us down to a 3. Need a hex. So that one's not going to succeed. We have a -1 here, so as a 6 -5 would be also a success. That's a hex. So now we get 2 2 successes from this sky tile. Let's take a look. I think we are going to go with for one of the successes, I think we're going to go with essence. And the other success, we're going to go with another ethereal ore. All right, wonderful. If the siege happens, we may be in trouble. So, let's go ahead and spend, first of all, let's spend... I'm going to convert 6 recruits into 2 specialists. Okay. Then I think we're going to revive our tower here. We're going to rebuild it for 4. Platinum. We don't have enough platinum to upgrade this one yet. We can upgrade it later, and I think I'm going to be upgrading this one to a fortress. But for now, at least, we can't. So we are just going to go with the rebuilding for now. Okay, then let's go ahead and spend 9 lumber to increase its potential by 5. So its potential is now 7. And I'm going to increase its range by 1. Or should I should probably wait. I'm going to wait to increase its range by 1. We would need to use 2 essence to do so, and I'd rather keep a hold of that to gain the passive modifier when the siege begins. I think we're done spending our resources, so let's dive into the next villain phase. Are we going to get lucky? We are. So Divine Malice. So this is an affliction. I guess lucky maybe is not the right term, but we do get 1 additional game turn left, so this is actually going to work in our favor. Okay, Divine Malice. Temples are places of worship and self-sacrifice, sanctuaries where one may seek solitude. But now that the world is burning, refugees have come in drones. In an effort to calm the chaos, the temples have closed their gates to all outsiders. Place a sky tile. Treat temples as uncrossable terrain. Oh, man. You guys, we still have this other card, Urban Control, which is in place as well, which means we can't actually move into a city-state. So now we can't move into the temple as well. All right. This affliction remains for the next 4 game turns. And so that also means that we won't be able to go into the temple during the next siege. Oh, I wanted to reduce water imbalance. That is going to cause us to also have to pivot one more time. We're going to have to change our strategy. The game is playing back. Okay, let's roll for that sky tile placement. All right, we roll a 2 all the way over there, and a 3 can't go that direction. It's off the board, so that's another 3, and a 5 is going to be this way. Okay. So we're going to place the sky tile right over there, and I see another earth token. So that is the villain phase. I think what we're going to do now is we are going to place a die on top of this card just to show that it is in effect for the next 4 game turns. So for our movement phase, we are going to tap into our Tanuki's inherent power to generate another dimension door. His energy is now 5 because we've been spending so much. And he is going to teleport us right over to here. And we are going to go there so that we can do one of those commissions. Okay, so that's moving normally. High rolls there. Oh man, high rolls here too. Missed. Made survival. Missed. That means we're going to wander. 7 made explore. And missed survival, so we're eating some food. All right, we're going to use the Mycotomancer's Neural Link ability to gain a bonus to that stat test. And that is equal to half Neural Link, which is 4. So that 9 is going to drop down to a 4, which is, a 5, which is just barely enough for us to make that navigate roll successful. So he's going to go back down to 4 energy remaining. And now we do not wander. Okay, then we're going to do our event phase. First things first. Let's, I think we're going to do our commission first. So let's go with this guy here. Alex Hydromancer. Unraveling the mysteries of water, the Tidekeepers stand as an ancient tribal institution. Their newest leader has innovative teaching methods and has drawn the Empire's attention. Escort the Alex Hydromancer to any water hex. Once there, spend half the required platinum to build a new tower or upgrade an existing tower to a fortress and equip her there when finished. Okay, so we just have to go to a water hex. All right. So let's flip over the next card. All right. Then I think we're going to spend the Wind Rider's energy to use Ascend. And that's going to bring his energy down to 9. And we're going to move 2 more and go right here. And then we're going to do this other card here. So let's take a look at this one. Jade Geomancer. It is known that there is resonance in the earth. Few can perceive these subtle pulses better than the Jade Mar. We must seek one of their kind in the crystalline realm. Escort the Jade Geomancer to any mountain peak hex. Once there, spend half the required platinum to build a new tower or upgrade an existing tower to a fortress and equip him there when finished. Okay, so now we have the Alex Hydromancer and the Jade Mart Geomancer in the group as well. Let's flip over that next card. Okay. Now it is going to be our turn to do some harvesting. I think we will harvest from the settlement. That will give us 2 recruits. Because we have our card, that gives us 1 extra. So we get 3. We get to roll the die. And that is a 7. Minus 1 is a 6. It's not high enough for us to get a specialist. And I'm going to save our Jade Imamori for later. So then the next thing, let's go ahead and we're going to roll 3 more on the sky tile. We need a hex or lower. And that is a 2 minus 1 from having our Charm of the Creator. That gives us a hex. And on the sky tile, let's go ahead and we're going to take another ethereal ore. Okay. And then these two results, we can use our Jade and Memori by siphoning even more energy out of our heroes. Thankfully, they have quite a bit. So our Mycotomancer is down to 2 energy, our Wind Rider is down to 7, and we turn both of these into a success as well. So let's go with, we're gonna go with 2 Sky Metal and 2 Essence. All right, perfect. Done with our event phase. Now it is time for Jaethi to act. Our Divine Malice Affliction goes down by 1. And we draw Jaethi's card. Oh my gosh, this is another affliction. You guys, oh, you know what? Okay, I have to back up. I did not roll for a siege opponent last turn, so I do have to do that, and I'll do that now. But I'm just blown away that we have not actually had the siege trigger yet. So we're actually kind of getting lucky where we're actually able to do some more things here. So let's back up, and I'm going to roll for that Divine Malice siege opponent. So that was a fire die, and it is a water result. So we are going to place a water card here. Look at how many siege opponents are on that slot. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 siege opponents on that slot. Okay, limited resources. Resources are growing scarce and being reallocated to help those with the most need. The leaders of the great cities gather to discuss what more can be done. The devastation inflicted on our world has changed it forever. Place a sky tile. All right, let's do that. And we have Portal 4, which is closed. Nope, that's over here. And a result of 5 has to be re-rolled. Result of Hex, re-rolled. 4 is going to be over here. You know what? I'm going to make an executive decision and not place a tile here. We're just going to flip this card over. Now, when you have a result that places a sky tile on top of a tile that has already been placed there, you flip it over to its void section here. So now this is a void location. It is breaking apart from reality, and it is no longer going to give us any terrain that we can harvest from. Pockets of our world are disintegrating, kind of Thanos style, right? And then the idea is that we have a void icon here. So we get to place one of those tokens right on top of there. And that means we can gain a void element just by going there. Okay, so that is place the sky tile. If placed on a hex tile, items are not available for purchase for the next 3 game turns. That is the case. So for 3 game turns, we cannot purchase items. That is terrible. Okay, so I'm going to place a little token on that. So let me use this one here. Okay. Okay, then we roll. Oh, you know what, you guys? I'm just getting ahead of myself. So, Divine Malice also had an encounter icon on it, and I should have played an encounter last time. I'm so sorry. I've been geeking out trying to think about what we're going to do for all of these different scenarios that could pop in. And so I was not paying good attention to our afflictions. So I'll tell you what, in this instance, I'm going to face both of these encounters at the same time. So we are going to now, first of all, I will go ahead and I'll roll that water die. I'll place an opponent so I don't forget later. And then I'm going to face 2 encounters. Okay, so let's roll that water die. And that is an earth encounter.
I'm still surprised we haven't gotten any surges during this harvest stage. Okay. All right, then we're gonna face those encounters. So let's see what happens here. We have the Tdundikan and the Asura, a level 1 and a level 5. Oh, but check out the Asura's rewards, you guys. This is gonna be really good for us. Okay. All right, so let's see how this is going to turn out here. We have the Storm Harbinger and the Alux Hydromancer and the Jademar Geomancer in combat with us. So there's a lot going on in this battle. First thing we're going to do is look at our favorite opponents. We have a creature and we have an ascendant. Now, the Wind Rider has favorite opponent creature. So let's roll that first. So we have 2 damage going to the Duntican. I'm just going to write down their health values here and energy values. Okay. Then we have our Storm Harbinger. So let's see what they're going to do. And that is a 3. So dual 5 piercing water health. Okay. So this is a air creature and an earth creature. So it's not weak against water. So they don't do extra damage. And this is going to do 5 piercing health, which will defeat the Dundikan and will reduce the Asura by 5. Okay, then we have our Jade Geomancer, whose attack is a 7, and we can just choose who that gets applied to. And let's go with the Asura. That's not piercing damage. Okay. Our Mycotomancer is going to use 1 energy. He only has 1 energy left. And the Wind Rider is going to not use any energy, but is going to deal 9 plus 14, which is going to be 23 damage to the Asura. So hopefully we'll have done enough damage to have defeated each of these creatures. Let's see what first the Dundikan does. And it rolls a 3. Now it also has evasion, so let's roll that first. So you can't evade favorite opponent damage, but it can evade the Storm Harbinger. So it's a 9. Thankfully it needed a 10 to evade this. So it was very close to evading the Storm Harbinger. It does not. So it does dual 3 air energy and explore. Those who failed are tethered. Okay, so we have a bunch of people in the battle now. So let's roll our first 3. Wind Rider's green, Mycotomancer is yellow, and the Storm Harbinger is blue. Okay, and then the Alux Hydromancer is green, and the Jade Geomancer is blue. So I'm seeing an 8 and a 7. So 7s have to re-roll. So the 8, first of all, is our Wind Rider. So let's deal with that first. 3 energy. Okay, and roll explore. Those who fail are tethered. Ooh. Okay, he makes it with a hex, so that's good. If he were tethered, he would die if he lost all of his energy as well as or health. Okay, so let's re-roll our 7s. So that would be our NPCs. And we're going to go with just green, yellow, blue for them. Alux green, Jade Geomancer in yellow, and our Storm Harbinger in blue. Yellow gets it. Our Geomancer is going to suffer 3 damage. Thankfully, he has 8 health, bringing him down to 5. Okay. Then we have the Asura. And that is a 2. Dual 6 corrosive health, and it's defending 6. So that's 7 damage, goes down to 1 damage, and the 23 damage goes down to 17 damage. Okay. During the declaration phase, each round roll the hex dial. If the result is a hex, Asura gains berserk. All right, they're not berserk. Okay. And dual 6 corrosive health. Let's do that. So our Wind Rider, Mycotomancer, and Storm Harbinger are first. And then we have green and yellow for the Alex and Geomancer. 7 and 6 have it. So we have the Hydromancer is defending with a 7. It's 6 corrosive damage, so it can defend corrosive damage. That means it's going to only... it's actually not going to take any. And then our green, again, is our Wind Rider. And our Wind Rider is taking 6 corrosive health, which cannot be healed this round. Which means our Mycotomancer's heal is not going to be beneficial. Well, our Mycotomancer is actually healing 7. And this is only 6 damage, so he can heal 1 at least. So our Wind Rider goes up to 5 health. Okay, that's it. We have successfully destroyed these 2 encounters. Let's get the benefits. So first of all, I see 1 gold, and I see 4 food. That's a welcome sight. Okay, then we gain 2 essence and 2 sky metal. We will definitely take that. We're to 20 essence and 16 sky metal. Fantastic. Okay, moving on. We each get a power-up. We're almost out of power-up cards, you guys. All right, so I see an elemental card. +2 to attack. Let's give that to our Wind Rider here, because it's also a fire element die. So we will roll that. And that is a fire match. That means we also get a fire element. Now, because it's a power-up card, we can apply that element to our hero right away. So I think we're going to do that, and we're going to apply that to our Saurian. Grab another token here. All right, so his fire tier is now 5, and that's going to increase the amount of fire damage that he's dealing. It's the Fireheart Scepter that he has. All right, so that's awesome. The fire inside each of us can be ignited as clearly as if it were the spoken word. My spirit shouts for the change I bring. Okay, and then our all abilities card. Yes, please, and thank you. That will go to our Mushroom Mage. Wow, his Alchemize is now rank 15. Fantastic. Okay, we'll put those cards away. And with that, we have completed our villain phase. So let me get rid of these 2 cards here. And moving right into the movement phase. Now we have 2 escort aid commissions. One is the Alex Hydromancer and one is the Jademar Geomancer. And each of these commissions will allow us to place a new tower on the board, and it will cost us half the build cost. So the first thing we're going to do is we have to go to a water tile,
and then a mountain tile. And I think we're going to just move cautiously. We're going to move right here, right next door to where we're at. So we are moving cautiously. Let's roll our skills. Okay, and we just are not good at surviving these days. We care little about food, you guys, because we are so laser focused on trying to get our important work done here. At least we make navigate and explore over here, so we get a little bit of gold. We still can't use our gold because items are unavailable for purchase until that limited resources affliction goes away. We can't enter a city-state or a temple, so we're kind of wandering out in the middle of our jungle here. Okay, over here, our Mycotomancer has done a little bit better on the food department. Managed to pick up some food and some gold. And that is our skill phase. Okay, so then the event phase. We are going to complete the Alex Hydromancer card. Escort the Alex Hydromancer to any water hex. Once there, spend half the required platinum to build a new tower. So we're going to take the tower number 2 card here. And we see that the build cost is 6. So we are going to deplete 3 of our 8 platinum to build a tower. Tower number 2 on the board. Okay. Now, once there, spend half the required resources and equip her there when finished. All defenders in this defender's range have a water augment. Okay, so let's see. This is going to complete the card, and that is going to be a +4 to our platinum. So we go back up to 9 platinum now. Okay. And we get to apply this equip card to our tower. And the tower also gains that water augment. So I'm just going to fill in the stats here. Okay. And I'm going to take these cards because our harvest is about to go away in a little bit here. So I'm just going to place this right here so that we can see it. Okay. Then, as part of our event phase, the Tanuki does not have enough energy to use his item creation ability. So, we do not get to do a double event phase. So, what we're going to do is simply harvest from this location. We have 4 acquire amount. So, we'll go with 1 great tree, and that will be a harvest roll of 4 or less. That is a roll of an 8. All right, we're just going to fail that roll. We're not going to use the Jaethi Memori. In fact, the Mycotomancer doesn't have enough energy to use it, but the Wind Rider does. Wind Rider has 4 energy remaining. So we're going to hang on to our Jaethi Memori, and we're going to try and use that in our next harvest. So for our next harvest, we are going to use all 3 of these sky tile hexes. And I really wanted to use this one, but we're not in range. So that's okay. We're going to roll 3 dice. We need a hex on the roll. At least we have a 2, and we have a -1 to the roll. So this 2 becomes a hex, which means we get to choose 1 thing from the sky tile. And I think we're going to select Sky Metal. That's going to be 18 Sky Metal. Okay, then this 3, I think our Wind Rider is going to use that Jade Memori. I'm going to go down to 2 energy remaining, and the Jaethi Memori will change this also into a hex. So for that, I think we are going to go with, let's go with 1 more Ethereal Horror.
Okay, now the last thing that we can do as part of our event phase is spend any of our resources. During the harvest stage, we can spend any amount of resources anywhere on the map on any defender. That changes during the siege. The siege, time slows down. Our harvest kind of unfolds over the course of several months. Our siege unfolds over the course of several days. So this is kind of simulated with the idea that we can move our resources around a little bit easier during the harvest. Okay, so I think the first thing we're going to do is let's use one of our ethereal ore to increase our Manchupakra's range. Now, if we look at that, it gives a +1 to range. So I'm going to increase Manchupakra's range to 4. Okay. And I think that's all I'm going to use at this time. All right, so then at the end of our event phase, we move into the villain phase. Our 2 afflictions have 1 less remaining round. That means we have 2 rounds left, and then we are going to draw the next Jaethi card. Oh no. There's our siege, and guess what? It is void. It is a void siege, saving the hardest for last. Here it is, the last push. We must try and survive this terrible onslaught that is about to occur. All right, so let's flip over our short count calendar, and we're going to take a look at ending the harvest stage. First of all, we're going to get rid of our harvest cards so that the few cards that were out, I'm going to place them over here. Okay, then we increase the siege wave by 1 by filling in the siege wave on the bottom. This will be the 3rd siege wave. Okay, then we are going to roll the hex die and increase the calendar by 2 plus the siege wave plus half the roll result. So that is a 2 halved into 1, plus the current siege wave is 3, so that's 4, plus 2. So that's 6. We're filling in 6 bubbles. I think we're going to win this game, you guys. We don't have another slot open yet. I spoke too soon. I've got to roll that void die on this siege card. So we're going to see if that produces a surge or if that produces a match or what we have here. So let's see. I did speak too soon. It's a surge. So it's a void surge. That means we are placing a void card on siege slot 3 and on siege slot number 4. Man, I should just not have opened my big mouth. And look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 opponents in the 3rd siege slot. Okay. Okay, so our siege duration has increased. We've rolled for our siege opponent. Now we are going to increase the void imbalance by 1. On Jaethi's siege card. Okay. Then we reveal siege opponents and roll to place siege miniatures. So let's save Jaethi for last. So we have 3 siege banners. I'm going to roll 3 10-sided dice, and we'll just go in order of our skills. So the second siege banner, which is the first one to appear, will be green, then the 3rd as yellow, and the 4th as blue. Okay, so let's place these where they are going to go. So this one is on number 7. This one is on number 8. Oh man. And this one is on number 6. Okay. All right, so then we're going to roll the 6-sided die for each of these. The first one is going to wander this way. It has appeared on the great tree. Okay, then the second one is number 5, and that is going to appear on the sky tile. And the third one is 1, and that's going to appear on the mountain peak right there. Okay, last but not least, we're going to roll for Jaethi. Siege Portal 10 and 2. That is going to place Jaethi, the plumed serpent, right there. Okay. This is going to be where I think it's going to hurt us. Check it out. All of these siege opponents are closing in on our beloved city here. It looks like the city-state of Takagura it may be saved this siege, or at least we can probably maybe outlast. We might end this game in a stalemate. I don't know if we'll have enough to deal damage to Jaethi. All right, so then we are going to gain any tier 2 passives. So let's take a look at our living crystal here. The living crystal has been used twice to allow us to create a factory for essence and for sky metal. Okay, so fill in the corresponding box at right. At the end of each harvest stage, for each box filled, gain a number of matching resources equal to 3 plus the current siege stage. So that is 3 plus 3. The third siege stage is 6. So we get 6 essence and 6 sky metal. We now have 26 essence and 24 sky metal. That is fantastic. Okay, so now our passives are going to go off, and we are going to gain additional stuff for each tier 2 resource. Let's go in reverse. Let's look at specialists first, okay? So we are going to gain 6 platinum at the beginning of each siege for every 4 specialists in the stockpile. We have 10, so we gain 12 platinum. That could not have come at a better time. Okay, so we have 21 platinum. All right, looking at our sky metal. One defender gains +2 power at the beginning of each siege for every 4 sky metal in our stockpile. So that is going to be 6 times, right? 24 divided by 4 is 6. We get +2 6 times. Okay, so I think we are going to increase tower number 1 twice. 9. And then Manchupakra twice. And just for good measure, I think we will also select Takagura once. And I think for the last one, I think I'm going to apply it again to Manchupakra. So we're going to go up to 17 for Manchupakra. Okay. All right, then, looking at essence, one defender gains +4 resilience at the beginning of each siege for every 4 essence in the stockpile. So once again, this triggers 6 times. That means we get to give a whole bunch of resilience to our defenders. I think we're going to give, let's give 2 to our tower number 1. And 4 to Manchupakra, which will be another 16 resilience. Manchu is now up to 26 resilience. Our harvest worked well in our favor. Okay. The next thing that happens is we remove any discoveries or treasures that were not secured. We have secured the ruins of Tobekli Gepe, so we do not have to remove that one. So now we're going to end the siege transition, and we're going to start our siege. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let's look at Jaethi's siege card. Oh no. Jaethi's movement speed is 3 this siege stage, so she is going to be in range of us very quickly. She moved like a hurricane in our last video. She was only moving 1 hex. In this siege, she's moving 3. Okay, now let's look at the passive. While the void passive imbalance is 1+, Jaethi has cripple and consume a number of tiers of resources equal to half the imbalance each turn. So for example, imbalance 5 would consume 3 tier 1 or 1 tier 1 and 1 tier 2. Okay, so she is consuming our resources each turn. All right, so I'm going to write down on the battle mat that she has cripple and consume. And if you'll notice, we've erased the bulwark and tremor abilities because she no longer has the imbalance of earth. We've been able to reduce that down to 0. If we were able to go to a temple, we would be also able to reduce water imbalance and get rid of her overpower and +1 resilience each turn, but unfortunately we can't do that. So the first thing that happens, she moves 3 closer to the closest city state. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She's going to Mantra Pakra. 1, 2, 3. All right, and she is in range of our tower already. Okay. So then we're going to give her +1 to resilience because of her water imbalance. She is now up to 75 resilience. And we're going to roll for her action. We roll the void die because it is the void siege, and it is earth. That is a mismatch. Okay, so all heroes gain dissonant, or we draw and face an encounter. Let's look at what dissonant does. Okay, dissonant. A target's pattern becomes warped and begins to fray. Whenever the target suffers energy damage, they suffer an equal amount of non-lethal health damage. Dissonant heroes also have a +2 penalty to stat tests. Let's just face an encounter. I think we're going to try that instead. Now, one thing I haven't done yet is flip over those siege cards. So I will do that in just one moment as well. But let's play this encounter first. Okay, and we have an air elemental. Ooh. This air elemental has an equip effect. This actually might be a really good thing. Okay, and check it out. Our Mycotomancer has favorite opponent air, which means we can roll our favorite opponent die to deal some influence damage here. Okay, so let's do that first. So we're going to write this down on the battle mat. I am going to go after this influence. We only have one. We have 1 energy left. The Mycotomancer can actually use Alchemize to heal this elemental. So that's what we're going to do. All right, roll favorite opponent die. And that is 4. That goes to its influence. Okay. The Mycotomancer is going to spend his last energy, leaving him at 0. Because the Wind Rider, our Saurian, has fire and water elements attuned, he has a steam effect that occurs whenever any heroes go down to 0 energy, they regain 2 energy. So the Mycotomancer goes back up to 2. And the Mycotomancer is going to equal to half Alchemize rank, so that is 7. He's going to be healing the air elemental for 7. Okay, and then I think our Wind Rider is going to defend. And our Storm Harbinger, let's see what our Storm Harbinger does. He rolls a 2, multi-unyielding. A number of targets equal to the group size suffer 1 piercing health. So the air elemental will suffer 1 piercing health from our Storm Harbinger. Okay, and let's see what the air elemental does to us. We roll a 3, group 3 air, health, and explore. Those who fail are knocked down. Let's see if we're knocked down. So this is a group effect. It will affect all of us. We roll a hex here. Our Mycotomancer is knocked down. Okay, all right. So that means it's going to prolong our battle a little bit. But this is 3 air health. So let's see here. He's actually immune to air damage, you guys. So he doesn't suffer the consequences of this action. That's amazing. When we gained our void element, I believe it was in our first video, our Tanuki was able to choose 1 element to become immune to, and we just so happened to choose air. So he suffers no damage from this effect, and thus is not going to be knocked down. Now, our Wind Rider was not knocked down. He rolled a hex here, but he is going to suffer some air damage. Okay, and he does not have air weakness. I believe he's weak against earth, so he is going to suffer just 3 damage, and he goes down to oh, he doesn't go down to anything because he's defending. So his defense is 7. The damage coming in is not piercing, so he is good. Our Storm Harbinger, however, is going to suffer 3 damage, and he's not immune to air, so he's down to 11 health. Okay, well, that's good. That means we have 1 more round to go. Our Mycotomancer is going to spend 1 energy, bringing him down to 1 left. And he is going to deal 7 more influence and another 4 influence. So this will effectively bring our air elemental under our control, and now we will gain this particular creature. Let's roll for the Storm Harbinger. Roll another 2, so it's just going to do 1 piercing damage. And for our air elemental, we roll a 4, and that is another group 3 health. So it's not going to matter. Our Wind Rider has defended again. This is good. We each get 1 gold from this encounter. And the air elemental has successfully been influenced. We get this equip effect. Once per game turn, this defender may teleport to any hex on a sky tile within 6 hexes of its location. Yes, please. That is awesome. That is awesome. That means we will be able to move this tower over to the water tower over to here. And in fact, this is an equip card, so we can equip it this turn as well. Okay. All right. So now Jaethi has moved. She has done her action. She's going to deal some damage. Let's look. She has 5 power. That means she is doing 5 damage to our tower, which goes down to 13 left. Okay. Next up, it is the siege banners. So let's see what those siege opponents are. In slot number 2, we have, of course, Disaster, the one we did not take care of in the last playthrough. And this one has 5 resilience. So I'm going to write that on the battle map. Okay, and then let me just put this over here just so that we can see them. Okay, then in slot number 3, we have Yami no Oja. And it has a resilience of 6, also a void opponent. Oh, and it is a void imbalance. That means these guys, they're going to hit harder. If we look at our siege card, there are some things that occur here. Void type health and energy damage is increased by the current siege stage number, so by 3. Void encounters and bosses are tenacious, and void siege opponents and heroes or defenders with a void augment deal 1 additional siege damage. So because these 2 are void and the third one is void too, they're going to be doing 1 extra damage, all 3 of them. No, that's terrible. Okay, so I'm going to get out some dice, and I'm going to place them on top of these siege opponents so that I know what their actual strength is, so that I can see it from afar. Just one moment. Okay, I've set down the 2 power values for each of these 2. This one is an elemental, and that means we're going to draw another encounter card and apply it to that creature. Now, one other quick thing is our air elemental, when we destroyed it, we also gain 2 specialists. So I'm going to increase our specialists by 2. All right. Okay. Then we are going to draw that encounter card and apply it to that particular siege opponent, and this is a conflagration moth. It's only a level 1, so that's a good thing, but it is technically considered to be a void elemental now, so she's corrupting all of these creatures that are coming out into this world. And now if we look at this, it says it gains resilience equal to its level plus 3, so that's going to be 4. Plus its siege slot, nope, it doesn't have any bonuses for that. That's just the speed that it's moving. So it currently has 4 for its health, and it is its level is its power plus 3 plus 1, so it's 4, 5. So its power is 5. Okay, so I have blue dice here to represent all of our siege opponents' power. I think I'm going to use a yellow die to represent their resilience. So one moment. Okay, and there we have it. We have yellow resilience and blue is their power. That will help me keep everything kind of together here. It's not looking good, you guys. This is going to be harder than I thought, but we're going to get through it together. So first off is Jaethi has already done damage to our tower. Our tower has a water and a fire element augmenting it, so it is able to reduce that type of damage. It does not have a void, so unfortunately it's taking all of this void damage that Jaethi is putting off. Next, we are going to move the banners, and they are going to move based on their speed here. So the closest, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This siege banner is the second siege banner, and it's moving 2. We are going to roll a die to see which of the 2 city-states it's going to target. That is a 6, which is an even result, which is terrible for us because that means it's heading down to Machu Picchu. All right, so it's moving 2. 1, 2. It has a range of 1 and soar, so it can get to the sky tile. Thankfully, its range is only 1, but it gains all keywords and their numbers for all siege opponents in play. So it gains Jaethi's cripple and consume effect. Let's just look at cripple here. Defenders who suffer any of this siege damage also lose 1 power. Okay, unfortunately, that would have affected our tower when Jaethi attacked us. Our tower goes down to 8 power. Definitely not looking good. Okay, and then consume. This keyword is followed by a resource type and amount. Reduce the stockpile amount by the resource shown. Okay, so her passive consume effect would have also triggered, and that would reduce one of our tier 1 resources by 1. I will go with ore, go down to 5. Okay. Then we have Ignite 5. Ignite. Let's see what Ignite does. Any heroes inside a defender damaged by this siege opponent suffers X energy drain and are wounded. Okay, we're not in range. And this one has no keywords, except it does gain immune to void. Okay, we're not doing void damage. Alright, so that is that. Next banner up, we have movement of 3. This one also has, looks like a range of 3. And it is closer to, unfortunately, Manchu Pakra. So it is going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, its range is 3. That means it is going to actually deal some damage to both our tower and our city-state here. So, tower number 1 is going to suffer, holy crap, 8? Are you kidding me? Oh no! 8 damage in the first round. It goes down to 5 resilience remaining. Jeez, that is just terrible. Okay. And our city-state also suffers 8, bringing it down to 18. Not looking good for us, you guys. Okay. Then the 4th siege banner, the one all the way over here, is going to move 4. And let's see what is closer. Yeah, of course. It's Manchu Pakra is closer. So we're going to move it 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And look at that, you guys. Jaethi's forces have arrived through the void portals, as if they were gigantic tempests of purple, black energy, warping the reality all around us and consuming everything in its wake, turning everything to ash as we look on to our beloved city. We are halfway around the world, and we can see on the distant horizon, we can see all of this occurring. We have to act as quickly and as aggressively as we can to win this game and bring our reality back under control. All right, so that is the end of the opponent phase. Now we're going to have the defend phase. And I'm hoping that we can do a little something to some of these terrible things that are arrayed out before us. First of all, our tower and our city-state are the only 2 in range. Tower 2 only has a range of 2, so it's only going to get about here. Tower number 1 first. We have 7 dice and 8 total power. So we're going to roll 7 of these. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, we're not looking at those 10s. Those 10s are terrible. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 incoming damage. That's definitely a good thing. So I'm going to look at, first of all, let's look at number 1. This guy right here, Disaster, gains all of the keywords. So it has the bulwark of 4. That's going to be reducing 4 of these successes down to Zippo. So they are not doing any damage. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get 1 damage onto our first siege opponent. Drops it down to 4 resilience remaining. Okay, then on the second siege banner, this guy Yami no Oja, and it is also has that bulwark effect, so it is also only suffering 1 damage. It goes down to 5. Okay, then we have is it in range? 1, 2, 3. It's not in range yet. We need to get these equip cards onto the city-state as soon as possible. Oh my goodness. It's a nail-biting situation. All right, Tower 1 is done. City-state number 2. Now it gets to attack. And it also has 7 potential, so we're rolling 7 dice. And let's take a look here. Now, we have 2 10s. So unfortunately, those 2 are not successes. But we are crit successful on anything that is 7 or less because of its gigantic power. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes, plus 6, 7, 8, 9 because of those critical successes. So it's doing 9 damage, and the bulwark is going to reduce by 4, so that is 5 damage. And its range is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not in range of Jaethi. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not in range of here. But we do get these 2 take 5 siege opponents, 5 resilience, and they are wiped off the face of the map. You guys. So we've just defeated both of these. Let's look at those rewards. We get 1 living crystal. Perfect. And we get to close siege portal number 10, which is right over here. All right. And then we are going to recycle those cards. Let's take those off. All right, and that is the only card in Siege Slot 2. So Siege Slot 2 is wiped off of the map, thankfully. All right, that's finally a good thing for us. That wipes out some damage that we will be taking. Next, I see an Earth Siege opponent for slot number 3. And we have a Thunder Stomper. It's a dinosaur, a gigantic Stegosaurus. Is attacking us right now. So let's replace the dice on this guy. His, let's see, he gets 5 for resilience. Okay. And 6 for power. Now that villain phase knocked my beard right off, you guys. Halloween just finished up here, and I went as Tormund this year, so I was growing it out for quite a long time to accomplish that mighty feat. He's one of my favorite characters, and I was very excited to be able to cosplay him for my Halloween parties here. All right, so let's take a look. Now, it's been a few days since I've played, so I had to get caught back up on where I was at, and it looks like there are a few things that we need to take care of. First of all, Jaethi was also hit by our tower when our tower did some damage to one of the siege opponents. We had rolled 5 siege damage. Now, Jaethi does not have bulwark like the other siege opponent did, so we do get to deal that same 5 damage to Jaethi as well. So she's going to go down to 70 health remaining. We'll take it. Okay, then let's take a look at the Thunder Stomper that just arrived. Now, there's a special ability here. If we take a look at that card, each revealed city-state loses 1 power when Thunder Stomper enters play. Ah, that is terrible. So our city-states are each going to lose 1 power. All right. And last but not least, Jaethi is currently ending her turn on a Cataclysm tile. Now, if we take a look at the Cataclysm card, we see that defenders, siege opponents, and Jaethi are affected. If Jaethi is on any hex of this tile at the end of the game turn, increase Earth imbalance by 1. So now we've worked so hard to get her Earth imbalance down, she has just increased it again by 1. All right, so let's go ahead and apply that on her siege card here. She now has a water imbalance of 4, an earth imbalance of 1, and a void imbalance of 1. Okay, so with that done, we are ready to move on to our next stage of the game. We get to try and set up our next defense, and I'm super excited about this turn. So we're gonna see what we can do here. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to use a Viper Potion for each of our heroes, and that's going to give us back 10 energy. And that wipes us out of Viper Potions. We no longer have any of those. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to use the Tanuki's item ability to teleport us once again. I love this ability because we have just been able to dominate in the movement department here. We've been able to move really wherever we want because of both the Wind Rider's abilities and the Tanuki. Makes for a great pairing. Okay, so we've just moved, we've just teleported to our tower. What we're going to do next is we are going to roll our skills. This is considered to be normal movement. Let me get some of this dice out of here. Okay. I see a hex there. All right. We actually stay where we're at. We make both of our explore rolls and both of our survival rolls. Make all of those rolls. Wonderful. Then we have our event phase. Now, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to, well, first of all, we heal a little bit. We're in a tower, so we're going to heal up to half of our lost vitals. So that means we're going to gain some over here. Ooh, and we get up to full over here. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is let's take a look at our equip cards. So we have the Air Elemental. This is the newest one that we just received. Once per game turn, this defender may teleport to any hex on a sky tile within 6 hexes of its current location. Okay. We have the Lady of this World. This defender succeeds all potential rolls. If this defender also has a void augment, siege opponents targeting this defender lose all keywords they possess. Okay. We have Strategy of the Shogun. This defender deals 1 additional siege damage for each specialist there. If this defender has a fire augment, it gains +3 potential. Haha. I think we're going to save this one for Manchupakra. Yeah, we're going to save this one for Manchupakra. I think that's going to be really good, and we're going to put all of our specialists into Manchupakra. That's going to give us a huge benefit when we are attacking Jaethi. Okay, and then finally we have Ancient Tablets. Siege opponents vanquished by this defender award double their reward. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a few things here. In order to attempt to save our tower, we are going to attach the air elemental to this particular location. Okay, so we're going to take our tower. Let me just move this over here. And I'm going to move this city-state over here as well because it's a little hard to see all the way over there. Okay. So these are our defenders here. Okay, so we're going to take the air elemental and we're going to attach it to tower number 1. Now, if we take a look at our equip cards, the idea is that we can only equip one equip card per defender per game turn. So I cannot equip more than one to this particular defender. By doing this, we can take a look at this. It says once per game turn, the defender may teleport to any hex on a sky tile within 6 hexes of its current location. So in order for us to save this tower, I'm going to actually teleport it, and it is teleporting us along with it right over to here. Okay? Now, that should allow us to be outside of Jaethi's range when she moves again, so that she's not going to be harming this particular tower again. But I have a couple other things that we need to do here. Okay, so the next thing is, because it is the siege stage, we cannot use infinite resources to enhance our defenders. We can only use up to the number of recruits that we currently have in our stockpile, which is 13. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, our tower has a range of 2 currently. So that's only going to be good enough to get us to about here. So I'm going to use 4 essence to give it 2 more. Do I want to do 2? Yeah, I think we're going to just do 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're going to use 6 total essence to give it +3 range. We go down to 20 essence, and it now has a 5 for range. Okay. Then let's go ahead and I'm going to spend a little bit more resources. We've spent 6. I can spend 7 more. Okay, so I'm going to spend 3 lumber to increase its potential by 1. And that's going to drain us completely of lumber. Its potential now goes up to 8. And I'll use 2 sky metal to increase its power by 1. We now have 9 power. And let's see. I think we will put We'll put in an earth. We'll put in earth in this location as well. So we will reduce our earth elements by 1. And this will now have earth as well. Okay, so I think we're done spending our resources. Then we have our, as part of our event phase, we can actually deal damage to any siege opponent in range. Now we are doing void and fire. Let's see, void, fire, and water. So let's see, our Thunder Stomper. This is a earth creature, so we would need to be doing air to it. So we are not going to be able to do. Well, we have void. Void can overcome earth. So the Tanuki will be doing 3 +1 siege damage because of the void imbalance. So we are actually dealing 4 damage to. We're actually doing 4 damage to the Thunder Stomper, which is great because it has 5 resilience, leaving it with 1 remaining. Now, the other one, we're not going to be able to damage this one. It's not in range. Void will not suffer any damage from any of the elements. So unfortunately, our heroes will not be able to deal damage to Jaethi. We're not done yet. We have a bunch of platinum here. And I think we're going to increase our tower to become a fortress. I think it's high time we did that. So I'm going to spend, let's see, it's 10 gold to upgrade. We're going to go down to 11 platinum remaining. Okay. And then we get to flip our tower card over to its fortress side. And if we take a look, there are some bonuses that we're going to gain from doing this. So first of all, we gain 10 resilience. So that 5 will go up to a 15. We do not gain any potential, so it remains at 8. For our power, we actually gain 2 power, so that will go up to an 11. And our range stays the same at a 5. We do gain a recruit in this location. And anytime the group gains a recruit, you gain 1 more. So we're just going to add that to our stockpile. Perfect. And then I'm going to fill in earth, air, and fire, because those will be translated into this new version of our tower. And then finally, we're going to replace our miniature here with the proper mini. Okay. All right. I think we're going to do one more thing, and that is we are going to use the Wind Rider's energy. We're going to use his Ascend ability to move us up to 3 hexes. We're going to move right here, and we are moving to the lair of Tlapichetl. Now, because we're in Tlapichettl's lair, up to once each turn, while in Tlapichettl's lair, the group may suffer 3 energy drain to move 1 siege banner up to 3 hexes in a direction of their choice. So we are going to suffer a little bit more damage here. And we get to move a siege banner 3 hexes. Now, yeah, we're going to move this guy 1, 2, 3 hexes to there. Okay. Then we have the villain phase. Okay, first of all, Jaethi is going to move. She's moving 3, and she is moving toward the nearest city-state. 1, 2, 3. She is now in range of our city-state, so she is going to remain where she is until this thing falls or until she is vanquished. Okay, then we're going to roll to see what the imbalance is. Let's roll the void die here. And that is an air result, so that's also a mismatch. Okay, you know what? We can either gain dissonant, or we can face another encounter. So let's face another encounter. That actually worked out well for us last time. We were able to get an equip card out of it. So we are going to face an encounter. And this is the Tengu Ronin. So this is actually going to grant us a power-up and 2 platinum. So let's take a look. He's a monstrous humanoid. Our Mycotomancer is good against monstrous humanoids. So let's roll the favorite opponent damage first. It's 4 incoming damage. Okay. He has a weakness to fire, you guys. Well, that's wonderful. because our Wind Rider and our Tanuki are both doing fire damage. So I think we're just going to both hit for our attack. So we have 5 plus 3 void is 11 plus another 3 void because of the void imbalance. It's 14 damage coming in from the Mycotomancer. That's 18 damage already. Our Wind Rider will also just use Whirlwind, and that will allow us to strengthen that effect. And then he will be doing 28 damage. And then we're going to both roll, because of the fire weakness, we're going to roll that d6 again, and that can hexplode on opponents. So that's 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 1, so that is another 9 damage coming in. That's 32, 46, 50, 55 damage against our Tengu Ronin. Boy, he has no chance. He rolls a hex, single, 6 health, and he has evasion. So let's see if this evasion actually works in his favor. I should probably roll for our Storm Harbinger as well. He is in our group. So he rolled a hex that is 3 air health. All of us, we gain evasion of 9 this round. Okay. All right, so let's roll for the Tengu's evasion. He has an evasion of 7. Let's roll first for the Mycotomancer, and that is a 6. So the Mycotomancer's damage goes through. Okay, and then once for the Wind Rider, and that is also a 6. So the Wind Rider's damage goes through. This guy's going to be destroyed, but one of us is going to suffer 6 health damage, and we'll see who that is. So 7, and 4. Okay, so the 7s are going to re-roll. That would be our Storm Harbinger and Wind Rider. 10 and 10. We're going to re-roll again. 10. Okay, for our Storm Harbinger. Our Storm Harbinger is the target and suffers 6 damage. It's not enough to kill him, so we are good to go. All right. We only have 1 round left on this affliction. These 2 afflictions that are currently in play. So I'm excited that those will be gone soon. All right, so now we get the rewards from defeating the Tengu Ronin. We're going to gain 2 platinum. And 1 power-up card. And you guys, we are almost out of power-up cards here. That means our game difficulty is going to increase if we run out of that deck. Okay, so, oh hey, that's amazing. Okay, we have a resource card here. Attack and defend, +1. And it gives us +1 to ethereal ore and living crystal. Yes, please. So attack and defend. That's going to go to our Wind Rider. And second mastery is going to go to our Mycotomancer. And then I'm going to take these cards and move them over here. Okay. All right, so that is Jaethi's turn. She is now going to be dealing some damage. The only defender in range is our city-state of Manchupakra. So she's going to be dealing 5 plus 1 because of the imbalance. She's going to be dealing 6 damage to Manchupakra, which now goes down to 12 total resilience. Okay. Next up, we have our siege banners. Now, the closest magnetic target to siege banner number 3, that's this one, is our tower. So it is going to move 1 hex closer to the tower so that it is in range, because this is the Thunder Stomper and it only has 1 range. Okay. And it will be dealing its damage. Now it's dealing 6 damage to our fortress. Our fortress is reduced from 15 down to 9. However, it's dealing earth damage. Now, that means we get to reduce the damage by 2 because of its bulwark. Our defender has bulwark against earth because of the earth element. So instead of going down to 9 resilience, it is reduced to 11. Okay, then we have the 4th siege banner, and it is going to be moving 4 hexes closer to the closest location. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are going to do a roll to see if it's the city-state with a odd result. Sorry, with an even result, or the fortress with a odd result. It's even. So it is going after our city-state. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, it does not need to move that far. It's only going to move to about there. It is only in range of the city-state, so it's not going to deal damage to our fortress, which is a good thing. Okay, now this one is going to be doing 5 damage to our city-state. And it is also void. That's reduced down to 7 resilience remaining. It's been brutal. Okay, so they have done some damage. Jaethi is not in range of dealing any damage to us. Thankfully, we have avoided her ire. We are also not in range of the Thunder Stomper, so we're not suffering any damage from him. Okay, so this means now it's time for us to respond. It's time for us to deal some damage back. First of all, our fortress is going to roll some dice here. 6, 7, 8. Okay, rolling 8 dice. Only 10s are going to be failures. And I see only 1 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 total damage is being dealt to this guy right here. That is the Thunder Stomper. That means the Thunder Stomper is now destroyed. It had only 1 resilience remaining. So the Thunder Stomper has been destroyed. That also is going to give us a power-up. Throwing cards around here. Okay. Oh my gosh. Another resource card, and it is an ethereal ore. This is amazing. So we now have 5 ethereal ore. This is going to help us keep our city-states alive. We have a health and energy +2 and a defend of +1. Our defend will go to our Mycotomancer, and our health and energy will go to our Wind Rider. Perfect. Okay. Then we're going to flip over the next card in the stack for this particular siege opponent. It is a water card. And what do we have? We have Vengeful Tide. If Vengeful Tide is on a marsh, water, or river hex at the end of a game turn, it gains +1 resilience. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This power is 3 +2, so it has a power of 5, and it has 7 total resilience. Now, a few other things happen. We have rolled dice once for our fortress. It has dealt damage to this one. We now get to deal damage to both Jaethi and our fourth siege opponent there, because we've increased the range of our fortress. But let me count these again. 2, 4, 6 damage, not 7. So 6 damage goes to Jaethi, and 6 damage goes to this other opponent here. Now, this one only has 4 left, so this one is also destroyed. Wonderful. The Void Conflagration Moth has been destroyed. We have sent this creature back to the abyss that it came from. Hey, and check that out. That is the only opponent in that siege slot. So this siege banner now is going to be removed from play. All right. And then we gain a power-up card. And there it is. The last of the power-up cards have been taken. You guys have seen the entire power-up deck. We are going to now shuffle that deck and increase the game difficulty by 1. So first of all, we gain a specialist because of our, let's see, lost Pinancho. We gain 1 more, so that is going to be 2 total. Specialists go up to 14. Okay, then we gain +1 energy over here, and +2 to the lowest rank over here, which is survival. Great. Let's shuffle this deck. And now we've replaced it over here. Okay, then we're going to remove these dice. Don't need those anymore. And we're dealing some damage to Jaethi. So we've done 6 damage. And now Jaethi has a bulwark of 1 because of her earth imbalance. So she is taking 5 of that 6 damage, reducing her to 65. Okay, now we are going to have our city-state deal some damage. Our city-state is going to roll 7 dice, and we are going to see about some damage incoming here. Its range is currently 4, so it's not going to be in range of that particular siege opponent. So the Vengeful Tide is out of range. However, we will be able to do some damage to Jaethi. So 7 dice. Oh, nice. All right. So I see only 1 failure here. And anything that's below a 6 or lower is going to be a critical success. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage dealt to Jaethi. She is reduced from 65. She takes 10 of that damage. She goes down to 55 resilience remaining at the end of that turn. Okay, you guys. We're getting close. Then that will be the end of our game turn. So we're going to reduce another bubble on our short count calendar. There's 4 rounds left in the siege. And this is also going to be that last turn for the few afflictions that we have. So thankfully, next turn we can re-enter temples, and we can purchase items if we wanted. Okay, so that is the end of the game turn. For movement this turn, we are going to teleport back to this location here. That way we can bolster in our defender. Now, we have used an item that the Mycotomancer has conjured. We're going to roll our skills. And we see 2 hexes there, so that is an awesome thing. That's going to give us 2, let's take 2 ore. Definitely could use the ore. And we get some gold over here. And we don't have to eat. Wonderful. Okay. Now we've moved. We can spend some of our resources. And here's where it's going to become awesome. Okay. So we are going to attach strategy of the Shogun. Weapons of war are often buried during prolonged times of peace. The Shogun of Hotarugawa remembers where powerful artifacts were once entombed. His efforts to reclaim them have awakened a fierce pride in the people he leads. It is time his samurai regain these weapons. Now, the samurai have been dispatched to Manchu Pakra. This defender deals 1 additional siege damage for every specialist there. And if this defender has a fire augment, which it does, it gains +3 potential. Wonderful. So I'm going to put this on our city-state of Manchu Pakra, and we're going to increase its potential up to 9. It cannot go above 9. And then we're going to spend our, you guessed it, specialists. We have 14 specialists, you guys. So let's put all 14. We have 14 recruits too. We can spend all 14 specialists and put them in Manchu Pakra. Can you just imagine all of these specialists showing up in this time of need? It's almost like the scene in Star Wars where all the Jedi are like coming out. The scene, like there's just one. Where all the Jedi are coming out, and we're defending this city from this gigantic void serpent in the sky. All right. Now, we have spent all of the resources we can spend this turn. We put all 14 of our specialists into that location. All right. Let's move that aside. The next thing we're going to do is it's Jaethi's turn. So Jaethi is going to, first of all, she gains 1 resilience back because of her water imbalance. Then she's going to deal 5 damage to Manchu Pakra. We are down to 2 resilience remaining here on our beloved city-state. Then it's not in range of the tower, so then we're going to roll the void die, and it is another mismatch. We're just gonna gain. I think we're just gonna gain dissonant this turn. I don't want to face another encounter, and Manchu Pakra has an earth element attached to it, so we can even use Manchu Pakra's earth augment to negate the condition on our heroes. So we do not even need to worry about this condition on the heroes this turn. Whew. All right. Next, we are going to have our heroes can actually do some damage. That is something I skipped. That's actually in the event phase. So our heroes are going to deal some damage to Jaethi. I remember why I skipped it. So even though our heroes are in range of Jaethi, we can't deal damage to her because she's a void opponent. All right. So next is going to be our siege banner, and it is the Vengeful Tide. It has a range of 2, so it cannot get to the city-state. It's going to be dealing 5 damage to our fortress. Our fortress is actually bolstered by water, so instead of dealing 5 damage, it is dealing 3 damage. So that's reduced to 8 resilience remaining. Okay, then it's time for us to defend. Okay. We are going to roll some dice here. We have 8 dice for our fortress. 6, 8. Whoa, just threw that one. Not getting that one back. Okay, no 10s. And that means we get all 8 successes with 1 hex. So that is 9 damage going to the Vengeful Tide. The Vengeful Tide is going to be destroyed. So that is awesome. We gain a power-up card. Now, I will say, at any time, we could take the fight to Jaethi. In this video, I'm just going to show you guys the siege combat. So, at any time, we've gone through the power-up deck, once already here. We are powerful enough where we could actually just face Jaethi in combat. But again, I think that'll be fun for another video. So, all right. So then we get a resource card, +1, pick 3 of your choice, and a +1 to first mastery. So let's add that first mastery to our Mycotomancer, and +1, pick 3 to our Wind Rider. And then we gain 2 of the tier 3 resources. I'm sorry, 2 of the tier 1 resources. We'll go to 9 ore, 2 lumber, and 16 recruits. No, we didn't do last round. Last turn we did not do Jaethi's consume effect. So she should be consuming 1 every turn. Let's take out 2 ore because of that passive. Okay, so we're done with the power-up cards here. The tower is also in range of Jaethi, so the tower is dealing 9 damage to Jaethi as well. It does not have any specialists, so the bulwark is going to be in full force. So the 9 is reduced down to an 8. And she has 48 resilience remaining. Okay, so that is our tower. Now it is our city-state. I think we are going to bolster, because we're in the city-state, we can now bolster it this turn. And if we do that, we can actually also deal some damage or increase its range, for instance. So let's flip over the next card to see what we're revealing here. And we have Gwyrnok the Ash Reaver. Okay, this guy has Soar. It has a range of 1, and it has 5, 6, 7 power. So it's gonna deal quite a bit of damage here. And it has 7 resilience. Okay. Now it's immune to fire. Our fortress has fire, water, and earth. So because it has 2 other elements, it's dealing other damage. If it was only augmented by fire, then this tower would not do any damage to this particular siege opponent. Okay, it has Ignite and it has Consume. So we are going to be having a few things get pulled away from us, just like Jaethi is consuming. Gwyrnok the Ash Reaver is also consuming lumber and recruits because of all of the wildfires that this dragon is inflicting on our lands. Okay, so we are currently going to roll the dice for our city-state. Before we do, we're going to bolster. So the Wind Rider is going to roll Navigate. and that is a success. That's going to increase our city-state's range by 2. So the city-state now has a range of 6, which is enough. It's enough distance to deal damage to this guy as well. Okay. And then my Mycotomancer is going to roll survival, and that is going to give Machu Pakra 1 resilience back at the end of this game turn. Oh, and that's a crit fail. Okay, we're going to use the Jade Memori to make that into a success. It's going to reduce by 8, so that is going to be a 2, which is a success. All right. So, City-State's going to roll some damage. It has 9 dice to roll now. Oh man, I see 2 10s here. Okay, so let's set those aside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it crits on everything 6 or lower. 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 damage plus 1 additional damage for every specialist there. That 11 damage just became 28. 28 damage. Jaethi, the plumed serpent, the keeper of all patterns, has been reduced to 20 resilience remaining. Only 20 to go. And we have defeated this particular opponent as well. Oh my gosh, before he even had a chance to set all of those fires, we get another power-up from this card. I'm going to have to show you guys our heroes at the end of this because they are just gigantic and beefy. Fantastic. Oh, and that's 3 additional lumber. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. All right, then we are going to replace this siege opponent. We're down to 3 opponents left. Now this one was an elemental, so we are going to draw an encounter and apply it with that subtype. So now this is a enraged Saurian attached to the Earth Elemental Siege. So this is resilience of level +2, so it has 5 resilience. And its power is equal to its level, so that is 3 plus its siege slot, which is 2, so it has a power of 5. Okay. Then we are going to give our city-state back 1 resilience because of the Mycotomancer's bolster effect. It has 3 resilience remaining. All right, and that's it. We're going to reduce the counter by 1. I think we're going to be able to take her out this turn, however. Both of our affliction cards are no longer in play. We get to take those out. That means we can reduce imbalance. If we wanted to go to a temple, we could. You know, at this point, we are so overpowered. We have spent so much time gathering in resources, and we have everything that we're going to need to destroy Jaethi this turn. So let's get to it. All right, so we're going to stay where we are. We are going to heal back up to full. We're in a city state. Thank you. And we're going to roll our skills. All right. Thankfully, we are camping, so we gain a -1 bonus. 17. All right. And we're good on food. Okay, rolling right through that. Event phase. Let's just, we're going to skip right to the villain phase and do some damage here. So, Jaethi is going to attack again. She's going to be dealing enough damage to destroy our city-state this turn. So, she deals 5 damage, plus 1 because of the void, which is 6 damage. We are going to spend 2 of our ethereal ore and that will negate all 6 of that damage. So we will remain at 3. Okay. We have 3 ethereal ore left. Then we're going to roll to see what she does with the imbalance. And that is another mismatch. We're going to take dissonant again. So she is laying on this warping pattern that has been negated by the earth element that we've placed in our city-state. So our patterns are starting to fray at their seams, but we're somehow able to keep ourselves healthy here. Okay, so that's her action. The Saurians, the enraged Saurians, are going to be dealing 5 damage to our fortress, and that is going to be earth damage. We have earth augmenting this particular fortress, so that 5 damage is going to be reduced by 2 to 3 total. So it has 5 resilience remaining. Then we get to defend, and this, I believe, is where everything will come to a screeching halt, and we will be able to close these portals and live in peace and harmony until the end of our days. Let's roll for damage. All right, you guys, let's go with our city-state first, because our city-state, it has 17 specialists in it. 15 plus 17 damage. All right. We have no 10s rolled here, and so we're critting on 6 or lower. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 regular successes. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 plus 17 damage is going to be 33 damage. Wow, what a game. What a game. You guys, this has been an amazing opportunity for us to show you several of the mechanics in the game. We have gone through a whole power-up deck. We've gone through roughly a third of the encounter cards, less than a third of the harvest cards. We've only seen 1 of the 4 cataclysms. We have seen dedicating to bosses. We've seen elemental gain. We've seen a lot of resource gain. But there's so many other ways to play this game, and we're really excited to showcase our playstyles booklet, because in this booklet it will show you a bunch of a la carte ways of modifying your Mountains experience. So if you want to play with sky tiles on the board when you begin the game, we've got rules for that. You can set up the board in a different way when you play. We have ways of speeding up your game. So obviously we played a gigantic, long, terribly long game so that I could show off as many aspects as possible to you guys. But you don't have to play the game that way. You can play it in a quick fashion, and we showcase rules for that. You can play it easier if you want to modify how certain things interact in this game. You can certainly do that. So we're super excited that you can make your game however you would like to play it. I gotta say, I've had a lot of fun with this video series. I'm excited to do another set of gameplay videos. I'll certainly look at some of our other volumes, and perhaps our Legends, or even Clix Madness or Fall of the Ancients, which are our campaign books. So very much appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for supporting our brand. Thanks for liking our videos and subscribing to our channel here. Everything that you guys do for us makes this kind of thing available for you. So thank you, and have a wonderful adventure as you move into this next phase.